Good, beautiful morning, YouTube and Facebook. I want to welcome you to the Monday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. And it's going to be a very interesting morning. I have with me the energy of the ascended, and I want to discuss why most people do not communicate after they leave. That is, when their physical body ceases to function. Why do most people not communicate? And we'll get into that shortly. But first, we're going to give people some time to come aboard. I'm just going to check out some technical things here. I hope you guys had an amazing and wonderful weekend. There are so many incredible evolutions and unfoldments happening at this time and space in human collective unconsciousness. Many of the changes we're seeing are going to give everyone the opportunity to elevate their consciousness up to transcend and overcome unnecessary suffering. We're at such a beautiful time. Good morning, everybody. Yeah. Just going to see a few things here. Also, I want to mention that I'll be going live on TikTok for the very first time today. I want to thank my TikTok supporters as well for their support in helping to get this information out to mass mind. People don't understand this concept of mass mind, but the ascended, again, the divine collective, the ascended masters, guides, angels, multidimensional beings, understand full well what collective unconsciousness does, how it works energetically, what is mass mind, and the functions of creation and the functions of your body, your mind, your soul, your emotions. These are really important to understand. It's really important to understand that you have a body, that your body is not who you are. It is an instrument that you use while you are experiencing a physical dimension. And we're going to get a little more into that as we go through this. Thank you very much. Good morning, Drusilla. Good morning, Con. Hello, Marigold, Elena. Yes, so we are at this incredible and exquisite time in human collective unconsciousness where we can harness the power of our entire species to alter and change what is manifesting as our experience in this material dimension. I'm being told that at this time, the vast majority of people are unaware of this element of collective unconsciousness because they're so lost in their individuality. That's not to say that there's anything wrong with your individuality. It's simply to say that if you get lost in this body as the only source or locus of your identity, it makes it really, really hard to alter and change your mind. It makes it really hard to alter and change your habits and behaviors if you believe you are your habits, if you believe you are your thoughts, and if you believe you are your emotions. If you believe that that's who you are, then you will be bound to express according to those. But let's move into today's subject matter on why the people that leave the physical body, some people call it death, there is no death. You said to keep telling me, tell people there is no death. There is simply a movement in consciousness from a physical medium of expression to a non-physical medium of expression. You live in these various mediums of expression at all times, both the physical and non-physical, but most of you find yourself focusing on being the physical, that the body is the only locus of your identity, the only place from which you can perceive or experience your reality. We want to clarify that this is not true, and we can verify that with you simply, and you can verify it for yourself. And we will ask you two simple questions. The very first question is, the thoughts that you have in your mind, that you are thinking right now, that you are weighing and measuring and analyzing, that you are aware of, are invisible. You do not see them with your eyes. You do not hear them with your ears, nor does anyone that you know hear or see your thoughts with their eyes or their ears, because the realm of thought is a invisible realm of consciousness. It is one of many levels and degrees of consciousness that are available to each and every one of you. The very nature of thought is that it is invisible, but it interacts with and influences matter, time, and space when bound with another element of energy that is also invisible called emotion, which in the last analysis is energy in motion. That is what emotion is. It is also an invisible energy, but once brought through a material medium such as your body, it induces and changes functions of behavior of matter. That is, the function of your body changes according to the nature and quality of the emotional energy that you bring through your body. These are but two invisible realms that function through a visible medium called the body. Thought and emotion, when combined together, induce all functions of behavior in the human kingdom. Please hear those words carefully. They may afford you a better understanding of what is about to follow. That your thoughts, which are invisible, when combined with an invisible energy called emotion, interacts with the conditions of matter, your physical body, to induce into expression all mediums of behavior across all platforms of humanity. All human functions of behavior are the result of the invisible realm of thought combined with the invisible energy of emotion moving through a material medium called your body. And all behaviors and actions spring forth from the combination of these two invisible energies functioning through your body, which you as awareness, and this is the third element of invisible consciousness, you as awareness can examine and evaluate your thoughts. You can examine and evaluate your emotions. And you can accept, reject, alter, and change thoughts and emotions, thereby changing which thoughts and emotions will function through the medium of your physical body. But you as this awareness that can interact with your thoughts and emotions prior to their expression through your physical mechanism, that aspect of yourself we call the soul or spirit of universal light. It is both an individual and a universal consciousness. It can identify with any aspect of individuality. It can perceive itself through the body. You can perceive yourself through your thoughts. You can perceive yourself through your emotions, but you can also be aware that you are independent of those three aspects of energy and consciousness. In other words, you can be very, very aware of your thoughts and not operate or act upon them. You can be very aware of certain emotions and make the independent choice from your awareness to not function with those emotions. And what thoughts and emotions you would choose to allow into expression through your body determines the effects that you will cause in your experiential reality. That is your physical world. What is happening around you at any point of time and space is a collaboration between yourself, your thoughts, and your emotions that you allow to express through this physical medium. Now, our discussion today is about why most people do not communicate after they leave their physical medium of expression. That is, when the body ceases to function or be of use to them, they then leave that medium of expression. And many of you say, well, where did they go? We would ask you to cast aside any of your religious dogma about conceptions of heaven insofar as it is a place that is exclusive to certain people and not exclusive to certain people, but to cast aside that for but a moment and consider the following: that in the realm where your body ceases to function, the identity with which you have been operating in this physical dimension ceases to exist. That is the constructed identity of the body, the thoughts and the emotions that you have been utilizing as an expression through that individualized body, that when that individualized body that is harmonized with those qualities of thoughts and emotions, when that body ceases to exist, that personality, that structure that you have been working with called your personality, your thoughts and your emotions and your memories and your future considerations and concerns, that facet of yourself ceases to exist. That places you as the awareness in the position of either remembering that you are not them or being attached to something that no longer exists. In that, so you might say your eye gets covered if you are so identified with the thoughts, the memories, and the emotions of that body that you think that is you. You believe that is who you are exclusively. And then when that reference point of consciousness ceases to exist, then you, in a sense, turn the lights out. You lose awareness of being aware because the mechanism through which you are establishing your awareness was exclusively based on the thoughts, the memories, the emotions, and the biology that you currently find yourself in. And so in that place where you've lost your identity of self, in that place, you do not know that you still exist, although you still do. In the process of beginning to go through this process you're observing now, this ascension movement or this awakening process, this intention to know that you are aware, independent of your thoughts, independent of your body, independent of your emotions, that you can still remain aware, independent of them. And we've seen many people do this through this function you call meditation, where you can literally stay aware, but not be distracted by thoughts, not be distracted by emotions, not be distracted by the 5 physical senses, and still remain aware. Many of your mystics, many of your great ascended masters have demonstrated this ability to reincarnate deliberately, in fact, to come back in another body as a manifestation of their own will to literally return. But the vast majority of you are so lost in the individualized identity that you have now, it makes it very difficult for you to be able to maintain your awareness as individual when the personality ceases to function as a biological mechanism with its collage of thoughts, memories, and emotions that you call yourself. But your mind and your body are instruments. Your emotion is substance that you use in the function of creation. Your awareness is independent of all 3 of these aspects of your being. And it is not, your awareness is not the only level of consciousness and perception that you can experience. You have other senses that can be developed, senses that you might call clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, which are non-physical senses that correspond in nature and degree to the physical senses, except they do not require a physical body for you to comprehend or utilize them. That is why some of you can perceive things without having any apparent reason for perceiving them, or why some of you can think of somebody and somebody calls you because you're operating on a level that is a non-physical dimension of sensorial consciousness. My partner Norma came across a video last night of a family taking the ashes of their mother and throwing it onto a pond. And as they're throwing the ashes onto the pond, just as they finish, the camera pans over to the pond, and all of a sudden, all of the ashes on the pond take the shape of the letters L-O-V-E, love. And I was quite amazed by that. I put a link for that video in the description box below this so that you can observe it. Now, consider that that individual awareness had the capacity to induce a change in the substance of ash that they're casting upon the waters, and that the vibration of her awareness was so present and conscious that she was able to induce a change in the substance of that ash to produce those words, that word onto the water. So I encourage you to watch that video. So those people, this is what they keep telling me, those individuals that are able to ascertain and maintain their awareness as a function that is separate, unique, and distinct from the thoughts, the emotions, the memory, and the body. That awareness has the capacity to interact directly and deliberately with time, space, and matter, even if they do not have a physical body, a collection of thoughts, an energy of emotion. They still have the capacity to interact energetically. So let us take some questions on this. For those of you who have been pondering, well, why has my grandmother not spoken to me or sent me a sign or a message? Many of you have experienced this, but many more of you have not experienced this and would like to. So let us communicate what your questions are on this issue. Good morning, everybody. Hi, Madalena. Wonderful. Hello, Christopher. Wonderful to see you. Hi, Tina. Hello, Manaj. Hi, Danielle. Question from Betsy. What is the difference between communication with the angelic realm and communication with high vibrational beings from other galaxies and dimensions, such as extraterrestrial? They're saying it's a difference in the degree, the difference in what you attune your awareness to, much the same way as you can attune your awareness to this physical dimension fairly easy, and you can observe what you see and smell and through those senses. So too, if you change your perceptual awareness to a different frequency, you can perceive other realms of consciousness. Just as you can shift your awareness from what you perceive with your senses to observing what you observe with thought. You can observe the thoughts. You can observe the memories, which are an invisible form of energy relative to physical matter. Likewise, you may attune your energy into different frequencies where different collective awarenesses function. The energy of the ones you call the Pleiadians, the energies of the ascended masters, the energies of your angels and guides, multidimensional beings, some of the deities that you refer to as gods. These two live on different dimensional frequencies that you can attune to. The mechanism that many of you cultivated, historically called prayer, is a device that you've tried to use to aspire to connect to the frequency, the energy, the vibration of these individuals. The process of learning to differentiate from your finite identity of the body into a broader spectrum of awareness where you can recognize the range and complexity of these different frequencies and tune into a specific one. The most simple example is if you take a radio set and you can tune it to a different station. You as awareness have the capacity to do this. Your mind, the mind that has been constructed by the world that you currently live in, and the body do not have that capacity in and of themselves, but you may use your mind and body to attune them to these frequencies so that you can perceive different realms of consciousness while you exist in a physical mind and body. Such a wonderful question. Thank you. Wonderful. Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. Yes. Now, Wednesday, I just want to go over some of the things that are coming up. We've changed the format of the show. They've asked us to change it. So we will be going live Monday and Wednesdays where we will be doing a transmission from an ascended master and multidimensional beings, the Pleiadians, many other angels, guides, ascended beings. And we'll be doing that Mondays and Wednesdays. And on Fridays from now, it's going to be strictly questions and answers for you to ask. And that's going to last about 30 minutes. And that'll be on Friday. I hope you'll join us that. We will still have the meditation portion of our program on this Saturday. And this Saturday, we're going to have Archangel Raphael, and we're going to be doing a healing meditation this upcoming Saturday. So I hope you'll come and join us for that. This Wednesday is going to be how to awaken your soul. And I was told by Master Saint Germain to put in practice the word self, S-E-L-F, in uppercase. He said it's important to understand the distinction between the self of the body, the self of your thoughts, the self of your emotions, and the self of your soul, the one that can be awake and aware and learn to explore and experience inspiration and wonders beyond what you can perceive with your five physical senses. So I hope you'll join us this Wednesday on how to awaken your soul with Master Saint Germain. Question from Olena. May I please have a message from my husband's grandfather? Thank you. Wow. I don't know why. I don't know why, but he's saying these words. He said, give him a friendly kick in the ass for me. He says, give him a friendly kick in the ass for me. I don't know why he's saying that, but he's saying that will have significance for your husband. He'll understand that. Give him a friendly kick in the ass for me. Yes. Now, it's it's funny you'd ask that question. Then a question comes to my mind is, well, then how do you get to a place? How do we get to that place where you can communicate between dimensions? And one of the things they said to me is, if you have the ability to connect to the awareness of that individual as that personality, not try and find them in a physical body, but if you can feel the energy of that persona that you knew, the grandfather, the aunt, the mother, the sister, the brother, if you can really tune into the energy of them, you can actually activate their awareness to connect you through that energy. I find that really fascinating. You can connect to that awareness by focusing on the energy of them as opposed to trying to find them in the physical dimension. Wow, thank you. Great question. Madeline's asking, Vertical Connections asking, how is love expressed between two advanced divine entities that we know as saints? How is love expressed? It is direct transmission. There is no separation in that level. There is no separation in that level. You must understand, there is no need for separation when you understand who you are. There is no fear involved when you know who you are. Only in the realm of individuality do you find there is a need to fear unity. Only in the human realm do you find a need to fear unity, as there is separateness in this physical realm. But there is no separation in that. The information and communication modalities that are utilized between these individuals that you call saints, in fact, all the individuals who recognize the true nature of who they are, function and flow freely without fear of what they will communicate or connect with in energy. But it's through direct, instantaneous and direct communication, knowing, clear cognizance, which is, again, clear cognizance, which means clear knowing. So they communicate through clear cognizance, clear knowing. They just know how to communicate with each other. Okay, great question. Question from Drusilla. I went out yesterday with one breath into a meditation, lost 40 minutes. Where did I go? They're telling me you went home for a minute. You went home for a moment. Now what you need to do is to remember that you are actually not going somewhere, but you are awakening to where you are. It's important you understand that the modality of your physical body views the world as separateness. When you view yourself through the body, there is a separateness. When you step away from that separateness, there is a holistic state of being, a wholeness, where there is no separation between you and all that is. But that is difficult for your mind to comprehend, as your mind functions and exists in this physical dimension on the premise of being separate, that you have a separate personality, a separate body. And so the experience of being united with all things is very different. But you as a soul do not need the mind or the body to exist in such a state. They're saying it will do you great benefit to apply this process again, but make the determination that you will stay aware, that you will simply stay aware. Do not get caught up in thought. The tendency that many of you have in this process of awakening, the tendency many of you have in that process, is where you will turn and you will start to think about what you're experiencing. And the moment you try to analyze what you're experiencing in these non-physical realms, well, you bring yourself back into the physical realm of separateness. So allowing yourself to experience the energy, to experience no thought without losing awareness of being aware. And you will find that in exploring it from that avenue, you will find precisely where you are and where you can and do go, all of you. Wow, thank you, Drusilla. Adam's asking a question for Pen. These questions can be asked on, I see how that works, yes. Question from Betsy. Could we possibly do a brief group intention to send love and healing to one another? Absolutely. Come join us on this Saturday, Betsy, and we would be very happy to do that. If you want to wait a minute, we can actually take like literally 1 minute right now. If everybody wants to do this, like, let's just take a moment of just accessing what for you is a vibration of love, and feel that feeling in your body as best you can, and feel that feeling with your awareness as best you can. And as you get to the closest approximation of what love is for you as a feeling, use your breath to strengthen that feeling that approximates love for you. Just use your breath gently. And then as you exhale, imagine that you can transmit this vibration of love out in concentric spheres, that is, spheres that radiate out, like the circles of rippling in a pond when you drop a stone in it. Imagine that as you breathe out, you're sending or transmitting that vibration of love to all things, all spaces, all places, all times, physical and non-physical. That your breath, through your breath, you're increasing the feeling of love, and as you exhale, you're extending that vibration of love to both the visible and invisible realms, through thought, through emotion, through time, through space, through energy. And just transmit that. Even if you do it for about a second, you've actually sent that motion, that energy in motion. It's like if you drop a pebble in a pond, no matter how small, that pebble is going to make a ripple. So if you do it a little, you'll still make an effect. If you do it longer, you'll create a bigger effect. Thank you so much for that, Betsy. Really appreciate it. Yes. Question from Madeline. I have a message from my grandfather that just passed. I don't know why, but he's showing me an image of you in a garden as a very small girl. Like, you're catching butterflies. He says you're catching butterflies. What do you mean by this? He's telling me to tell you to remember the fascination and joy of your life. Remember to be in fascination and joy with your life. But he used to watch you catch butterflies. Like, this is really cool. But he says it's important that you remember that wonder and excitement. Look for the butterflies in your life. He's saying, like, look for the things in your life that excite you. Go after them. Don't hold back anymore. He wants you to really, like, connect to those things that really excite you. Don't hold back anymore. Be that child that fearlessly ran around trying to catch these butterflies that seem so elusive. Wow. Question from a Facebook user. Do my past loved ones have a message for me in regards to the difficult situations I am going through? The first words I'm getting are stop your worrying. They're saying stop your worrying. Stop it. Like, they're saying stop it. I don't know who this is, but it's a strong male. It's saying stop it. Stop the worry. This is first. Refuse it. They're saying refuse the worry. And one of them saying and smile more. Like, they're saying put a big smile on your face, and let that be what you face these difficulties with. Let that smile be what you greet your troubles with. I'm getting this image of a gold, like a necklace thing that has got like a little locket on it. It's got a picture of a female in it. It's a young child in it. They're just showing me this locket. It's open. It's a young girl. She got short curly hair. It's a black and white photo in this locket. But this one's coming very strong. She's close to your heart. She wants you to keep this close to your heart. Keep her close to your heart. She's very close to your heart. Again, I don't know who that is or what they're saying, but that's what you're getting. But again, you guys are going to have this Friday. This Friday is going to be all about you guys. So on Friday, all these questions, these personal questions. On Mondays and Wednesdays, I request that you consider asking questions that are relevant to what the subject is that they're sharing with us, because that way you're going to learn as they are here to teach us. They're not here to simply just talk with us. They're here to actually help us to elevate our consciousness up. There's a massive movement underway. They keep coming in and saying this over and over again to me. There is this movement in consciousness. It's called ascension, where human collective unconsciousness has the opportunity to transcend its former suffering through the function of love. To transcend its former suffering through the function of love. This ascension is based on the unity of the collective unconsciousness. That is, you all unite with a common energy, a frequency of love that will, in and of itself, alter and affect the changes you seek to see in your world, including environmentally. The existing process of utilizing your technology to manipulate and control humans in hopes that you will achieve this result will fail, as it is through the function of love that real truth is affected as a manifestation, that real long-term happiness and joy become your natural state as a collective species. But it cannot be done through force. It can only be done as an effect of free will, that you would elect to choose love over fear as your expression. Wow, thank you. This is a great question. So Adam's asking a question. Why exactly does the astral experience cyclically time as compared to the physical experience linear time? Please explain the principles of process of why this happens. Why exactly does the astral experience cyclical time as compared to the physical time? So what he's basically asking is, why is it that from non-physical time is different from physical time? Because the density and motion of the substance of energy at each respective level functions on a different line of time. Although they do intersect with each other, your thoughts function very differently in time than does your emotions and does your body. You can use your thought and in but a single moment review the last 4 hours of your morning or your afternoon or evening. You can review an entire day in but an instant in thought. You can do this. And yet from the perspective of body, which is a much denser structure of energy, the process of time is elongated. It happens much slower because of the density of the substance. Thought is a less dense substance. Energy is an even less dense substance than body. But it is the density of the substance, the energy, that determines the time and duration in each respective frequency. The frequency of thought, the frequency of emotion, and the frequency of matter function on different lines of time because their structure of substance is different. Wow. Thank you so much, Adam. I appreciate that. Question from yes. Question from Polly. What is going on with my health? I've been told I'm anemic, caused by lupus. Any advice, please? Well, again, the first thing that's coming to my mind, and I don't know who this is, but they're saying, tell her to stop eating crap. Tell her to evaluate very carefully what she is giving to her body, as her body is trying to tell her that it is not being treated properly. Now, this may not include the sphere of hereditary emotions and thoughts that you may hold in your body. There are hereditary emotions and thoughts that you may hold in your body that can, in fact, be a carryover of previous incarnations from other individuals in your ancestry. I would also recommend if you look over my YouTube channel, if you're on my YouTube channel, you can see our favorite channels. There's a channel there called The Healthy Life, run by a gentleman by the name of Marcus Rothkranz. I highly recommend you go to his channel. Another person you go see is Dr. Robert Morris. These are two brilliant beings who have understood and mastered health. They've mastered health. as an expression of their consciousness. And I encourage you, if you want to find out how to treat the functions of lupus from a mechanical perspective, that is from dietary process, go check out Marcus, go check out Dr. Robert Morris. Again, the link for Marcus is on my YouTube channel under our favorite channels. And Dr. Robert Morris, you can just YouTube him, Dr. Robert Morris. And again, these are brilliant souls that have done wonderful things for helping people heal their bodies. I got time for one more question. Yes, that's a very true statement. Time does not exist in the higher realms. Actually, it does. They tell me, I had the same thought. No, time does exist in the higher realms. It's different in degree, length, and duration. So time from a physical perspective is, let's say, 100. And from a perspective of, say, thought, it might be 50. So you have less time the higher in frequency you go in dimensional awareness. So the realm of thought, the realm of your awareness as a soul is a different time frame. The experience of time is very different, but time is necessary for the different dimensions to interact with each other, as well as emotion. Emotion organizes, my guardian angel John told me, emotion organizes all conditions of matter. He said there's no exception to this. Emotion is, in fact, from your perspective as a biological entity, emotion is the fifth state of energy, and it induces and organizes all matter, from the most microscopic particles, the most invisible substance, and brings it down into the visible realm, and therefore causes manifestations you observe with your 5 physical senses. Thank you, John. No, I didn't forget to answer it. Yeah, we're here. Thank you so much, guys. Anyway, I want to appreciate everybody for coming out. Please forgive the technical glitches that will occur probably for another couple of days as we get our mind wrapped around the different modalities of information and technology to communicate through this, because for my personality, I have to retrain my mind to some of these new things. But I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out today. We are at a very powerful time in human collective unconscious. Science is now proving, they're proving that consciousness affects matter. It's obvious to me. When I think a thought, my body feels a certain thing. But it's now becoming scientifically validated and recognized that we as beings alter and affect changes in time, space, and matter with the way we use thought, emotion, imagery. It's a beautiful thing. And this process of ascension allows us to elevate our energy up. We'll talk more about that next week on ascension. That's going to be a very fascinating subject. So a lot of people are wondering, what is this ascension? What does it mean? What does it do? What is my role in it? How does it affect me? How does it affect the people around me? So I hope you'll come and join us next week when we get into the discussions on ascension. Again, I want to thank everybody for coming out today. Thank you for your questions. Again, this coming Wednesday, we're going to be how to awaken your soul. And I'm told there will be a process that we will go through that will give you an inkling of what that is. And then come and join us on Saturday for the meditation. And this Friday, you can bring whatever questions you have, and I'll bring in your guides, your angels that are working with you, and or whoever wants to communicate through me for you. So come out this Friday. I'll look forward to seeing you then. This is a time of ascension. Sharing information is far more important than you realize right now. Sharing valuable, useful information that helps people elevate themselves out of suffering into creation is the most important teaching that can be given this planet. That anybody who's teaching others how to awaken, to learn to run their minds, run their emotions, and run their body effectively, to all the people that are doing that, these are the saviors of the world. And anybody who's learning to awaken in this ascension process, like to awaken that you are not your thoughts, you're not your emotions, you're not your memories. These are information and substance you have. This is so important. So share this information. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to it. Give this video a thumbs up. Click the notification bell so you know when we come live. That way you won't miss a presentation. And you can always go back and look on some of my other videos. I highly encourage you to go back to last week's Monday or Wednesday program, where the whole process of forgiveness was discussed by Master Jesus and Archangel Michael. And I highly recommend you go and check those 2 videos out. They're simple, easy to understand, and they may change your life in a more powerful way. I want to wish everybody here much love. Have yourselves a wonderful and a joyful day, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. Bye for now.